It's a remarkable program. It was actually initiated not by the Park Service, but by members of the community, Scout community. And it's large. It's probably, I suspect it's the biggest single volunteer run event, or at least fueled event in the Fredericksburg region. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of children, adults, scouts, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, who turn out to prepare the cemetery. Hundreds of scouts will deploy to lay out more than 15,000 candles. You walk up the hill and you look out over that vast expanse of the cemetery that you can't see from Lafayette Boulevard, that's invisible to you, and just this endless sea of candles, one for each man buried in the cemetery, and women. There are many women buried in the cemetery as well. But it is a stunning thing when every 30 minutes we have a bugler from the old guard who plays taps. And you never know where in the cemetery he's going to be. He moves around from time to time. And it's just kind of a remarkable thing how at that moment, while you can always hear this low buzz of conversations and people shuffling, and you can see people moving, when tap starts, everything stops. And it's as quiet as can be. If you compile a list of the 5 things in Fredericksburg you must do, either as a visitor or a resident, the illumination of the National Cemetery would be on that list, and pretty darn high, I think. 15,300 burials in the cemetery. More than 80% of them are unknown. But of the 2,700 or so that are known, there are just some shattering stories among them. But you think about that, and at least those families had some idea of what happened to their loved one. This cemetery has a higher percentage of unknown than probably any national cemetery in America. And that is a function of the chaos, of the remoteness that attended the events, the 4 battles around here, the struggle of the region in the post-war period, immediate post-war period. That in itself tells a story, but as much as we understand and sympathize for the pain of those whose loved ones are known to be buried in that cemetery, there's a different kind of pain for the majority of families whose loved ones lie there and they never knew and still don't know. We have almost every single day people coming into the park looking for an ancestor. And for the vast, vast majority, if they're a Union ancestor and they're looking for their burial location, if they died here and the burial location is not known, it's probable that they're among the more than 12,000 unknowns buried in the National Cemetery. We had a grave during Hurricane Isabel. You'll recall back in 2003, a tree went over in the National Cemetery and disrupted a grave. And we discovered, the archaeologists who kind of looked at it, recovered what was torn out of the grave, discovered that the burial was much more systematically and carefully done than what we might have thought. The soldier still had his boots on, and was laid very carefully. So that was the first time we had really any insight into kind of how this work was done. And it seems, at least based on that it was done quite carefully.